welcome back to Can We Talk with Jewel podcast, proudly sponsored by fundraisingcup.org Ministries, where we raise awareness, funds, and occasionally, I guess, blood pressure. I assure you that the only show where we sip tea, guys, spill truth, and somehow still end up praying by the end of the show. So, y'all, the world's been spinning so fast, I'm getting dizzy. And now I hope y'all had enough time to digest last week's chaos buffet because, baby, the world didn't take a breath. Nope. The headlines have been running marathons while the rest of us are just trying to afford groceries. So grab your herbal tea, your sage, your seatbelt, for that matter, and maybe a helmet. Let's talk about what's going on between court rulings, chaos, and climate change. It's giving end of season energy. And imagine we're only in November. So let's get into it, guys. Buckle up, breathe deep, exhale, and maybe grab some holy water because, child, what's going on? Starting with the local news, it's been national chaos. Justice on strike. So Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson hit the pause button on SNAP benefits, meaning 42 million Americans are out here just fasting. Not by choice, but by policy. The government's like, just pray on it. Meanwhile, grocery store prices are auditioning for the next Hunger Games movie. Politicians are out here playing Monopoly with food stamps, except this board game comes with real hunger pains. And to top it all off, the government shutdown drags into week, who even knows? Flights canceled, TSA unpaid, and the only thing still flying right now is our faith. Can somebody hear me? Vice President and Chief Architect of the War on Terror, Dick Cheney, who helped lead the country into the ill-fated Iraq War on faulty assumptions, well, he has died. According to a statement from his family, he was 84 years old. We are sending out a rest in peace and our condolences to the family. Speaking of faith being grounded, a UPS cargo flight crashed after takeoff in Kentucky, killing 12 people. Very tragic. No investigation updates yet, just pilot error. Whatever that means, it's a speculation of some sort. So let me get this straight. We can locate a TikToker's IP address in 12 seconds, but a black box from a UPS flight takes a month. Okay then. And there were 300 ashes found in Nevada desert. Oh. Authorities found 300 pounds of human cremains in the Nevada desert. FBI says they're investigating. Sounds like a deleted scene from Breaking Bad. Or, if you ask some of us in the community, another episode of America's Best Kept Secrets. Because 300 souls don't just appear out of nowhere, guys. Somebody knew, somebody dumped, somebody's lying. We need to know, are these CSI remains or targeted individual remains? Because between the government shutdown, surveillance balloons, and unmarked vans, I'm not ruling anything out anymore. And in Chicago, immigration and federal agents raided an apartment complex, as you guys know, with helicopters, chemical gas, assault rifles, all to check immigration status. Well, Governor Pritzker said it looked like a war zone. Sir, that's because it was. It was giving Call of Duty Urban Eviction Edition. This is what we mean, guys, when we say the oppressed are being militarized against and not protected. And the House Committees on Homeland Security and the Judiciary launched an investigation into all of this raid in Chicago that terrorized residents. Hopefully, we'll have some answers. Moving into international news, I refer to it as the sanctioned unsanctioned. The U.S. quietly waived sanctions so Hungary can keep buying Russian oil. Translation: morality is flexible if you pay in dollars. Because when it comes to sanctions, America said, do as I say, not as I profit. So while we're preaching about democracy and human rights, we're simultaneously funding the side we said we were fighting. Make it make sense, America. Now we have Israel, Gaza, and Sudan, whom I refer to as the unholy trinity of war. Israel versus Gaza, Sudan famine, Gaza bombings, Turkey's issuing an arrest warrant for Netanyahu. The humanitarian crisis in Gaza deepens with poisoned water, no medicine, and starvation. And yet world leaders are debating who's right instead of who's dying. Every region on fire, and the UN's like, we're monitoring it all closely. Monitoring? That's bureaucrat for we sent thoughts and prayers in PDF form. And Sudan, y'all, famine declared in two regions, people starving while we debate who's trending, 40 killed in a funeral drone attack. The UN is concerned. Translation, drafting another letter. Over in Lebanon, Israeli airstrikes continue despite ceasefire pleas. Russia bombed Ukraine again, including Kyiv's energy site, leaving civilians freezing in November. North Korea threatened offensive action because a U.S. aircraft carrier stopped by South Korea. Meanwhile, the ICC finally confirmed 39 war crimes charges for Joseph Kony, the original hide-and-seek champion of global conflict. Ukraine accused Russia of recruiting 1,400 Africans for suicidal war contracts. You mean colonialism 2.0 freelance edition? And that brings us to religious news, guys. Trump is threatening Nigeria. Former President Trump said he'd send military intervention to Nigeria, guns a-blazing, over religious violence. Sir, this is not expendable. You can't drone strike your way into peace. Oh, Lord, let's pray. Maybe start by addressing the violence caused right here. Flint water. They still don't have clean water, guys. Who said that? But seriously, I'm all for saving Christians' lives, but let's be transparent about our motives and intentions as to why we would risk a war in Africa right now with all the strife we are presently taking on with major nations. Is this truly about defending faith or accessing crude oil reserves? We surely don't want to inadvertently sign up for another Gaddafi situation whereby the oil reserves made it an attractive target for international intervention. Just saying what you guys are all thinking. Anyway, moving on to weather. Mother Nature has entered the chat. Typhoon Kalamaji ripped through Vietnam and the Philippines. Tornadoes hit Brazil, floods in Germany, and New York turned into Venice overnight. Mother Nature's like, you want to play God? Okay, I'll show you what wrath looks like. Memo taken. And now, my favorite segment, guys, it's travel news, because not only am I your host, I am also your personal VIP travel consultant, baby. Let's talk turbulence, and not just the kind of at 30,000 feet. The usual holiday travel anxiety, multiply that by 10. Yeah. Nearly half of all major air traffic control centers are short-staffed, according to the FAA. The TSA is collapsing. with queues over an hour at Houston and Newark, 5,000 plus flights canceled, and unpaid federal workers trying to smile through exhaustion. Transportation Secretary Sean Duffy warned that if the government shutdown lasts another week, quote unquote, mass chaos. Sir, that ship has sailed and it's circling LaGuardia right now. Then came the shocker. Kenai Aviation, an Alaskan airline that's been flying for approximately 66 years, abruptly shut down, citing pandemic deaths. In a Facebook post, CEO Joel Caldwell said they simply couldn't recover. Add that to the pile. Verijet in Florida and Cassini Air in Texas also folded. This isn't just turbulence, guys. This is an extinction event for small airlines. So if you're traveling this holiday season, my advice is simple. Pack patience, download prayer, and maybe bring a parachute. And that brings us to our health news. This is Health with Reiki Healing. Shout out to our dear friend to the show, Sarah, for her contributions to the healing segment, because after reading all of these headlines, my own chakras are screaming alignment, please. We're learning to transmute pain into power because laughter heals, yes, but truth, it just cleanses. And guys, this is my other favorite segment because I know you guys care so much about my random thoughts, and I try to record them throughout the week as they float through this mind of mine. So we're going to start with Putin and Xi's Immortality Club. Russia's Putin and China's Xi Jinping met to discuss technological immortality. That's right. While the world burns, they're planning to live forever. I'm sorry, I must have checked out when they began discussing advancements in biotechnology and organ transplants. Like this was some sort of saga to the movie Death Becomes Me. Did any one of them mention adrenochrome elixir yet? Oh, ooh, who said that? And another random thought that crossed my mind, it's more of American nonsense. I like to refer to it as mask off. It was Halloween 2025, and I just want to know, is Blackface trending again? I may have missed the memo buried under "Here Goes the Race Card." A fellow podcaster named Lily Gaddis wore blackface proudly, got fired, and said, "I did a deep dive and couldn't find a care." Sis, don't worry, we found it for you. It's buried under 400 years of bad decisions. I guess racism never dies, huh? It just changes costumes. But some swear we're too sensitive. No, baby. We're just too educated to laugh at ignorance. And let's talk about Italy's digital ID wallet. Italy just rolled out their ID wallet, mandatory for all citizens, as you guys know, and protesters are calling it digital slavery. Now, we're not seeing a lot of this on mainstream news reels or anything like that, but people are sending clips directly from Italy of protests. And I say this, if your government app starts asking you for a retina scan and your grocery list, just throw your phone into the ocean. So yeah, the conspiracy theorists, they're not looking so crazy anymore, huh? Speaking of which, don't miss our fellow podcaster show, The Hidden Frequencies, designated for all conspiracies. Yes, shout out to Thomas Lillard. This week he spoke about the breaking down of the homeless industrial complex and how the system profits off displacement and trauma. They call it urban renewal. I call it human recycling. Potato, potato. And Amazon layoffs and AI wealth. Amazon laid off 14,000 employees, guys, just this week alone, while Jeff Bezos gained $10 billion yesterday. Yes, you heard me correctly. I said $10 billion, thanks to AI. AI apparently stands for ain't including us. So if you get replaced by a robot, don't take it personal. The robot's probably not getting paid either. And the Democrats, in terms of politics, had big wins in elections, which means they didn't lose everything. Yeah, we're setting the standards pretty low. New York elected its first Muslim and South Asian mayor, Zoran Mamdani. Forgive me if I don't pronounce it correctly. I heard you made it clear for Trump in your victorial win. But I do think it's a victory for representation. But of course, Trump called him a little communist. And 50 cents, well, rest in peace, New York. Sir, you got shot 9 times and survived. But diversity is where you draw the line. It's just a little extra taxes on the wealthy. You'll be okay. And, before I forget, big scandal news and celebrity news. Erica Kirk hugged J.D. Vance, and somehow it became a national emergency. Her hand in his hair caused a viral think piece. Body language experts called it a super intimate. And baby, if that hug had one more finger in his hair, we would have had needed an R rating. You hear me? That wasn't a hug, honey. That was a teaser trailer for a scandal. But let's give her some grace, guys, because morning can be difficult. And, did you guys hear about in Germany? A nurse killed 10 patients to make his job easier. Sir, that's not efficiency. That's evil with a to-do list. What are you doing? And in prison news, Diddy is allegedly turning prison juice into alcohol, launching Ciroc Cell Block Edition. From Bad Boy Records to Jailhouse Spirits, you gotta give it to him. The man stays entrepreneurial. At the World of Fun in Missouri, a girl's seatbelt loose on the Mandy roller coaster. Now, those that know me know I'm not a big fan of roller coasters, nor allowing my children to go on them either. And this news didn't really help. I guess the World of Fun didn't include self safety precautions because that was just a mess. And Gold Shim revoked the women's membership for complaining about a man in the women's locker room. Huge debate. Transvestite that fully hadn't had their operation was in the women's locker room, and women felt uncomfortable about seeing a package. They didn't ask for delivery because apparently privacy is canceled, but subscriptions to the gym aren't. And let's talk about India's World Cup glass ceiling shattered, guys. Yes, India's national women's cricket team won the World Cup. 40,000 fans went wild, and the country celebrated like Diwali met Beyonce. Now, many of you may not know this, but I am Caribbean, where cricket is life. So shout out to Sir Viv Richards. Anyway, 40 years ago, the men's win in India made cricket a religion. This one could finally make equality the sequel. I'm just saying. And Candace Owens is now the #1 podcaster in the world. Yes, you heard me correctly. See? Proof that the apocalypse is not coming. It is here. I'm just kidding, girl. You know we support you heavy over here on this podcast. So stop gatekeeping and put us on the map with a little interview, my girl. Let me know. Have my people call your people. And now, moving into targeted individual news where it's not as lighthearted, we refer to this as the invisible war. To the people the systems swear don't really exist are targeted individuals. Big thanks again to the Honorable Dr. Nina Ritchie for joining the show and exposing how deep this rabbit hole really goes, from covert harassment to government-funded gaslighting. Her courage to expose the targeting, human trafficking, and religious occult networks. That's how we save lives, guys. Because while mainstream media talks politics, we talk purpose. Every survivor who speaks up is one less soul silent. And speaking of hidden in plain sight, did you guys hear about Los Angeles, where sex trafficking operates openly along Figueroa Street, locals call it the Blade. Drivers pull up like they're ordering takeout while traffickers stand by giving orders. Some of these girls are barely 11 years old. Meanwhile, California just passed a child trafficking law so loose that any random adult can check a kid out of school if the parents don't show up. Make it make sense. This isn't the land of the free, guys. It's the land of the conveniently blind. I'm convinced. And that's exactly why fundraisingcup.org exists. To amplify the silenced, protect the vulnerable, and drag these truths into the daylight, whether the world is ready or not. You know, fundraisingcup.org continues to fight for targeted individuals worldwide. We are exposing the underground syndicates, the trafficking, organ harvesting, and spiritual warfare disguised as medical care. Every life saved is a mission accomplished. Every testimony told is another brick in the wall of truth. So remember that, guys, and please, please continue to share your stories because so many victims have felt empowered when they would hear others going through the same exact treatment and playbook that these tormentors are doing. So I welcome your stories and look forward to hearing them and sharing them on the next podcast. With that said, you know what time it is. Poll break. All right, y'all. This week, you guys dropped a few votes on LinkedIn where our political satire meets nervous breakdowns. If you made it through the past episodes, congrats, because you survived another week in this supposed twilight zone. I want to talk about these polls, guys, these polls. So the first poll we have here was regarding healing in real time with Sarah Jane. And we asked you guys, when it comes to healing, what's the hardest for you to embrace? 60% of you said letting go of control, while a matching 20% either believed in divine energy or trusted in God's timing. 0% of you believed it's faith versus science balance. You know, it seems most of us are still gripping the steering wheel when asking us to ride in the passenger seat. Healing starts where control ends. So breathe, release, and let go, guys. And rolling right into the next poll where we asked you guys what's going on, and it's part of the Mr. Talk poll comedy series where we pose a question as to why did you miss last week's episode? And so the results are as follows. It was a tie with 43% of you got lost in group chats, and it was just too much truth bombs being dropped. So I can definitely understand that because we don't hold our tongue here. And I know how group chats just never seem to end. And then 14% of you said the universe glitched. You felt it too, huh? And, you know, 0% of you are still buffering, which is good because that means you're alert. You're not in the in-between zone. And so basically y'all were either overwhelmed by the truth or just couldn't find the link. Either way, no excuse next time. Stay tuned and stay woke, not broke. And speaking of staying tuned, let's roll into the last podcast poll where we were exposing the hidden hands of oppression. And we asked you guys, what do you believe is the strongest weapon used against targeted individuals? Now, this poll was based on Dr. Nina's recent podcast. And although it hasn't been up very long, there were some interesting results that rolled in. 57% of you believed that the strongest weapon used against targeted individuals today is psychological warfare. And I must say I agree with you guys 100%. 29% of you believe it's isolation and smear tactics. And you know what? Yes, they do use this as part of their playbook, but you have to be really mentally strong to survive the psychological warfare, never mind the isolation and the smear tactics that follow. And 14% of you said digital surveillance, which can be a little bit annoying with, some of them intruding on your privacy. And 0% said community betrayal. Well, damn, you guys expected the community to betray you? The mind is a battlefield, guys, and the war is invisible. So from psychological ops to digital stalking, survivors are waking up and speaking out. I want to thank you all for voting and really putting yourselves in the victim seat and understanding what might affect them the most. Really appreciate it, guys. You guys are solid. And moving on from the poll, I want to talk about fundraisingcup.org just a little bit because they have been making some real good headway with our website. There's been so many people putting up campaigns needing assistance internationally, and we really see what's going on around the world. There's just, it just looks like it's change happening everywhere between, whether it's political, whether people are just rioting and boycotting. And we're just seeing a huge shift of people standing up and speaking up. And kudos to you guys because we encourage you guys to not just stay back and take it. But we also see that in doing so, you guys need financial support. And unfortunately, with the government shutdown here, a lot of our aid has been shifted to local individuals and communities in providing things that they need. So I'm going to ask you guys to bear with us because we're all going through this together. We're all trying to, get in where we fit in and help each other out. But just hold tight. Hold tight, guys. We see you. We hear you. And we're going to try our very best to help you. Um, I just want to say this, right? This, in the United States, we call this the land of the free, and we're finding out that it isn't the land of the free. It's the land of the conveniently blind, and that's exactly why Fundraising Cup exists. To amplify the silence, protect the vulnerable, and drag these truths, again, into the daylight. So we're telling your stories, we're letting it be known, and we're here to help, right? I just want to reemphasize that because every life saved is a mission accomplished, and every testimony told is another brick in the wall of truth. Had to reemphasize that, guys, because we just had some powerful, powerful people stepping up this past week, whether they were doing healing or sharing their stories to heal. It's been a powerful week for all of us. And if you made it through this episode, again, congrats. You survived the twilight zone we call 2025. From typhoons to tech layoffs, from hunger to holograms. One thing's for sure, we're living in a simulation, guys, and it's lagging. I know this week's headlines were heavy, but that's why we talk. Because silence is the accomplice to injustice. And remember, awareness is the first step towards action. Therefore, laughter is resistance in disguise. Until next time, stay awoke, stay aware, and stay laughing. Because if you don't laugh, you might just scream. Our awareness is the revolution, and it may not be televised, but it will be recorded weekly nonetheless. So laugh, cry, grieve, but never disengage. Keep your peace sacred, your discernment sharp, and your passport ready. Spiritually and physically. This has been What's Going On, the series where truth meets therapy and courage meets comedy. Until next time, keep your eyes open, your soul protected, and your Wi-Fi encrypted, guys. And remember, it's not paranoia if they're really out to get you. This is Jewel, signing off. Bye, guys.